doing this for the first time. Have a smile on your face so that I feel comfortable with you. Okay, I'm Ganesh. I operate as the Managing Director of FluxGen Engineering Technologies. I come from India to speak about our work and our association with PlanetNIProgram. As Eloisa said, we work on renewable energy technologies, and we started our business sometime end of 2011. My best friend Hari was supposed to come here because of visa problem, he couldn't. I'm speaking on his behalf. We both started this company. Right now we are 3 of us. One guy is working as an intern, and I do some lab view development, but my colleague Hari is an expert. So I would say 2 of us are the developers. And before talking about lab view developers, I should say like October last year, we registered as a private limited in India. And we were thinking like, yeah, we want to do something energy domain, renewable energy domain. Then we thought, okay, what are our skills? Like, what did we work in the past? Hari and myself, both of us worked on LabVIEW in our very first job. I mean, we both were like, we did our engineering together in a college called RB College of Engineering. Later we worked in a startup, that's Next First Engineering Technologies. Then we both worked on this technology. So we thought, and in my master's I used LabVIEW to do an experiment called ion trap mass spectrometry, where we used LabVIEW to interface with vacuum chamber and ions interface inside it. So we basically knew a little bit of LabVIEW. So we thought, okay, let's somehow find contacts in our group so that we can get some help from NI. So I followed a classmate of mine from engineering who had worked with National Instrument. So he connected me to Sujit Pai, who operates as India sales head, saying that I talked to Sujit that we have started a company and renewable energy, we want your help. So he told, all right, how many guys you have? He told, we are 2, we want your help. So he came out of our office the very next day and he saw the facility. It was like pretty much like a junkyard lab. But he told, all right, like I'll set up a meeting with the managing director of India and Russia and Arabia operation, Mr. Jairam Pillai. You'll have half an hour to speak about your work, what you want to do. Then let's see at what capacity we could help. So yeah, that's where I was like, oh God, this is too big. I'm the managing director of India. I mean, how would I speak to him? So I kind of made some slides and went there to speak about the thing. And Mr. Jairam Pillai, who is the managing director of India Russia operation, was very gracious. I mean, he comes from a Navy background. I was like, oh God, like in general, civilians have. So I made a slide. So this is pretty much picked up from that presentation. I told him like, Mr. Jairam, I don't know exactly what we are going to do. We have these 4 things in our mind, like if we get a project, any of the things, we just take it and execute it. Work for 1 year. If you get some kind of a scalable idea in this 1 year, we'll probably do that next year. So I spoke to him and he first told me like he was not sure whether I knew stuff or not, or wanted to test me out. So he asked me lots of questions, renewable energy, and I was like, oh God, and I was able to answer quite a lot of them, and some I couldn't. He asked me particularly about something called how do you store energy? I mean, can you tell me in various ways? Then he told me that's the weakest link. I could figure out now. I can actually figure it pretty much now. And at the end of it, he told me like, okay, Ganesh, I'll tell you, I'm giving this. I really want to help you, not because you have all these flights. Because the proof of concept for me is that you left your safe job. I was working with General Electric before, an aviation system, and they later on to energy systems. You left that job and you are doing something. So that is the proof of concept to me. And you go ahead, like, build fun. After that, we got Sona Sethi from NI Bangalore. She's a point of contact. She's been like really gracious to us. And like, okay, and that's how we started off these things. I'm running out of time, so quickly. talk about the projects that we did in this. I mean, related to the previous things, we got these projects from a research institute, top-notch research institute in India, and these are projects like a grid-tied solar PV project we got, wherein which we have 2 solar panels. One is a tracking system, another is stacking system. Our customer, who is a research scientist, wanted us to build a setup where in which we can measure energy coming from a tracking system and a stacking system. And we use LabVIEW completely to develop this interface where in which you can measure energy coming from each panel set. And we developed the software using LabVIEW, though we couldn't convince our customer to use a National Instrument hardware. So this is one project. I'll quickly go through because I want to talk about the last slide. Okay, this is we developed a network performance analyzer for an energy plant, any generic energy plant. This particular card, SBVO 9641, we got as a funding, as a gift from PlanetNI. So we use this, we developed this to monitor any kind of energy plant, and we can remotely monitor anywhere. Any technical details of it, probably we can take it offline. Okay, this is pretty much the block diagram of the system, where in which any energy harvesting system connected to load through a power grid, we monitor the whole thing and connect to a PC, and through a complete green and the blue block is like the National Instrument component and our electronic systems. Okay, this is like the latest project. Like just before coming here, we executed this project where we convinced our customer to use a lab with the lowest end LabVIEW component to actually do charging a supercapacitor through a solar panel. And this is like you can see side as the solar panel and the final thing inside the LabVIEW. Okay, this is like this slide is pretty much to say that we just took these are the various blocks of a setup of our interface. It might look many, but we did the whole development in 1 week. Like lab is really fast. Development in lab is really fast. So that's what is the emphasis of this. And what we want to do next is like build, like India has like 400 million Indians don't have electricity, and we want to do something in that regard. It is a concern as a countryman, but it's an opportunity as an engineer. So we want to build a smart grid, a small microgrid. You have 10 houses, you want to connect it by interconnected by some kind of a electrical wiring and have meters, and then connect to a small power generation setup, which could be by solar primarily, and you can have some kind of a wind turbine, and it can have a contingency as a diesel generator. And we want to build a communication module and kind of energy health monitoring system, which allows an aviation system. And if you build something like this at a micro level, then you can have multiple micro grids can be built. If this proof of concept is done, if by next 1 year we do this, then you have multiple microgrids, small. Then you can actually interconnect this microgrid, and they can share energy between these microgrids. And later, if you have such a grid, can be called as a mini grid, and whole can be made as a big grid connected to a mini grid. So this is what we want to do next year. This is the scalable idea which we thought. Initially, we didn't have an idea. This 1 year we figured out this, and probably I'll talk about more technical details offline. I'll stop the presentation because I took too much more time. I'm really sorry I took more time. Thank you for your